Hello there. What is going on, everyone? We're going to be talking about Star Wars Shatterpoint and everything that came out of Ministravaganza, the reveals, the news, the surprises, and the things that are kind of hyped and that you can look forward to coming out over the course of the next year. It's pretty cool. There's some interesting and unexpected surprises, and I'm going to kind of just run through all of it in a summarized kind of way in case you weren't able to watch Ministravaganza or you didn't have the hours upon hours to sit down and watch all these long streams or even my watch parties. I wanted to get to it. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button, click the bell for alerts. We are doing another round of the $25 Amazon gift card giveaway that you can use to put towards a Shatterpoint expansion of your choice or any other gaming expansion of your choice. If you want to have a chance to enter to win that giveaway, you just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the previews. So Ministravaganza focused on Shatterpoint, Legion, and Marvel Crisis Protocol. We got a little bit of not a whole lot of Shatterpoint stuff, but basically I'm going to primarily talk about the new previews and new things that are coming. You know, the Bad Batch is already out, and we've got Hunter and Tech and all these guys, but Crosshair is in two things, and so they did and they showed this a while back, but this is a closer up preview of Crosshair as he is in Bad Batch Season 1 kind of working for the Empire for a while. Not for the whole time, right? They like to do snapshots in time. And so we get a close-up of how Crosshair will look and some of the stuff that's in his pack. They talked a lot about the flamethrower, which is going to be potentially pretty cool. So there's some cool stuff in this, and then there's going to be, of course, they didn't spoil everything from these expansions, but they did spoil a pretty decent amount. The Mandalorians, I think, are one of the most exciting things coming to this game. They are just really, really cool. I'm a big fan of them. They are restricted to only that one era, though, so you're going to have, you're not going to be able to just drop Mandalorians everywhere and all over the place, which I think might end up being a little frustrating when you're trying to build a full-blown Mandalorian build, but again, you can always mix and match different squads within your strike team, so you can still find ways to make that work. But Paz Vizsla just looks incredibly awesome here, and while the unit card has a lot of cool abilities, they all have some kind of this is the way ability on their card. I really just love this artwork and this sculpt. He looks incredible. And we've got covert Mandalorians that are, it's kind of cool to see a supporting unit that's two different miniatures with like two completely different sculpts like that too. Like it's pretty groovy. I kind of like it. Again, if you're into Mandalorians are super popular right now. I don't see that hype going away anytime soon with the Mandalorian movie coming out for I think next year or the year after or something like that. So pretty cool stuff. I do hope they change the title so it's not just The Mandalorian and Grogu, but who knows? I mean, there's plenty of time left for a new title to come out. We've got some previews of the Bounty Hunters that are going to be coming out. The first expansion that is not a full-blown squad expansion. These are all just going to be different secondaries, I believe. And you've got almost all of the Bounty Hunters from Empire Strikes Back at this point, although I still don't think we're going to see Bazuckas and Forlam for a while. Also, General Veers and Snowtroopers, we got previews of them. A closer up look at their unit cards. Lando and Lobot. This is, of course, the Lando is the one that kind of got me temporarily banned from from AMG's Twitch channel because Lando, they said he looks like he's about to change the game. You had all these plans and he's about to change them. I said he's going to change the plan for Armada and put it back into production, and then they started the that ban hammer, a temporary ban hammer. No, it was a funny one. So anytime I see Lando, I'm always going to remember that. But no, really great looking artwork for these two as well. We got some printed versions or painted versions of some of the stuff that's coming out soon. Kit Fisto's pack looks really cool here. Interesting choice with the sculpt on him because he's jumping in the air like that, and he's I don't know what this is exactly that he's stepping on, if it's supposed to be a plant. I think it's supposed to be some kind of flower petal. The only problem with some models like that is they tend to be a little shaky or wobbly, so hopefully he's secure on there. Hopefully, like they made that whole flower petal and that leg like more solid plastic and made the rest of him lighter, so it balances really well. So this looks like that'll be an interesting pack. It looks like you're gonna have some different options. I think they said this one is gonna have like two different secondaries. So I think that'll you'll have an option if you're gonna go a little bit more Jedi focused. You might have some different options there. And if you are trying to run multiple Jedi, the Wisdom of the Council pack, this one looks really, really cool. You're getting some. I believe you're getting. I think the two on the outside are our generic Jedi, and I think they said that that Shaak Ti here is actually the secondary. So your generic Jedi, I think, are the supports, and I think So having Shaak Ti as a secondary is interesting, as she can die again. But what death will be canon? What death? And of course, Ki-Adi-Mundi, whose birthday is still not canon. We don't know when he's born. That's a little bit of a deep cut to some controversy that's been going on lately. But so really cool to see a full Jedi pack. That's exciting. Rogue One is the big news, though, because up until this point in Ministravaganza's reveals, we had kind of seen, we were seeing a closer look at stuff that we already knew was coming. But we did not know that Rogue One had like a full-blown set that was going to be coming. And this one's really cool. In fact, it is so much cool stuff coming for Shatterpoint from Rogue One that it really starts to beg the question, wait a second, where's these guys for Legion? And I think that's the question we're probably always going to ask about both of these games. If you're a Star Wars Shatterpoint fan and you see something cool come out for Legion that you want in Shatterpoint, you're probably going to say, how come it's not in Shatterpoint? And vice versa. The Legion players are looking at some of this stuff saying, how come it's not in Legion yet? Now, when I say that, you're probably like, everything on the screen here is already in Legion. Yes, I know. We do already have Cassian Andor. We already have K2SO. We already have Rebel Pathfinders. We already have those in Legion. However, it's still pretty cool to have them here. But when we get into some of the stuff that we're going to see is some stuff that's not yet in Legion. Now, an interesting thing here is that you have Death Troopers are coming back, and this time you have a secondary and two support options. You can run with two of your short troopers or two Death Troopers, and you have a specific Death Trooper that's going to be your secondary, and of course, Director Krennic in his iconic pose from that original Rogue One trailer, where he kind of just stand there looking menacing, looking like he's plotting. Here is where we get into a lot of the stuff that's not yet in Legion that I think players have definitely wanted. Now, Jyn Erso is in Legion. She's actually a tremendously good Rebel commander. However, Baze Malbus and Chirrut Imwe really should be in Star Wars Legion. Like, they really should. And to be fair, Bodhi Rook could. He definitely could. If you were looking for another unique name to go into Pathfinders, you could probably work Bodhi in there, or he could be like a secret mission. He could be an incognito. There's a lot of ways you could put Bodhi in there. Bodhi doesn't have to be in Legion, but I think with the counterpart rules, it works perfectly for these two. These two should have been one of the first counterpart units to show up into Star Wars Legion, and hopefully that can still happen. It'd be a tremendously popular pack. I would love to see that show up. And it also kind of asks the question is, like, could you consider putting like Force upgrades on characters that aren't actually Jedi? Would Chirrut Imwe be able to, do Force push or something like that? I could see a way to do it, maybe, but the problem is it's like certain Force upgrades would seem appropriate and certain ones wouldn't. So I think what they would probably do, if you were going to have these two guys in Legion, is you'd probably give them a command card that replicated a quasi-Force ability, and that's how it would be. So I don't think you would actually give them full-blown Force upgrades, but it is always possible. It is always possible. But this is a nice-looking pack. You're getting a lot of important characters from Rogue One that are going to be coming to Shatterpoint. Also, Delta Squad. So if you liked the Clone Commandos already, you can have Delta Squad coming into the game. Now, the only problem with this might be is if you already painted your Clone Commandos in Delta Squad colors, you might run into a couple of like, wait a second, this is slightly different. Now, I do believe that the backpacks are different on Delta Squad than on regular Clone Commandos. So if you do want a proper Delta Squad, this is probably a way to go. This is one of those units that is also already in Legion. However, they did technically get Clone Commandos in Shatterpoint first, but it was pretty close coming with both of them. But in the case of Star Wars Legion, because they were Clone Commandos that also could be run as Delta Squad, they still sculpted them to be Clone Commandos. They didn't have the same backpacks, and it looks like, you know, the stuff sticking up, you're going to have, like, different backpack options on some of them. So, you know, and I'm rusty on Republic Commando, so I don't remember exactly what their backpacks looked like. I just remember that they did have some specialty, some stuff that was a little different than what we see like in the Bad Batch when we see the Clone Commandos and, you know, in the new canon show. So either way, pretty cool stuff. As again, if you were looking for themed lists and you're wanting to run, you know, as many Clone Commandos as you can, this is making that a lot more possible, and I think that's a pretty cool thing. And this is an interesting. So we've got the Aqua Droids, we've got Riff Tamson, which is really cool, and also a Quarren from the Terror from Below pack. Now, this is definitely one of the most interesting ones. I have been wanting to see Riff Tamson on my tabletop for a long time. He's such a cool character. I love the idea of shark people. I love the idea of him possibly biting someone's head off. And the thing is, though, again, Shatterpoint's not as much about actually biting people's heads off and more about like controlling points, and it's a little bit more of an area control game. If you guys weren't already aware, I am working on a alternate rule set for Shatterpoint, so I don't know when. I'll probably come out with a beta for that at some point. Not a massive change, but a way to make it a little bit more combat oriented. It may be nice for some people, may not. We're gonna see. But either way, I always like it when I see characters that are a little more combat themed, because I think Riff Tamson will be a really fun character to run. The Aqua Droids look huge. Also, these are also droids that are also coming to Star Wars Legion, and I would hope that Riff Tamson also makes his way to Star Wars Legion. I think he would work very, very well for Separatists, and I think Separatists are often looking for new leader characters, new commanders and operatives and things like that, and I think Riff Tamson's a perfect example to go in there, maybe for a battle force, maybe just as a general Separatist commander. I think it'd be a wonderful option, so hopefully Riff Tamson makes his way into Legion. These guys are already coming to Legion. They're big in both games, and since he is like jumping up or swimming up, I mean, you can see how much taller they are than the Quarren. And so Riff Tamson's already kind of elevated above his base, and they are still taller than him. So these guys are going to be very, very big. I would wager these are probably going to be the biggest miniatures that they have done for Shatterpoint. Probably, I don't know if they're going to be bigger than Grievous, because Grievous's pose is so big that it makes him take up a lot of area. But outside of Grievous, they're probably the biggest ones. They may be bigger than Grievous. It's going to be pretty interesting. And we have a full release timeline for all of this stuff that we have talked about. So most of it is going to be in Q2 of 2025. We're going to see a lot of stuff. Now, some of this stuff can get pushed back. There is a lot that is supposed to be coming out in November as well. So that's pretty cool. So again, they're trying to get a lot of stuff out before Christmas. Nothing lined up for December, although it's always possible that some of these November timeline items get pushed into the Christmas time. But of course, you know, you get your Christmas lists into Santa now. There are a couple of new game modes and some other cards and other things he talked about in a different stream. And so, you know, like there's a little more that's potentially coming. There is key operations. I want to talk about that a little bit. It's they're looking at doing, there's print and play stuff. I think that it's available now, but I'll be honest with you, the key operations stuff didn't really interest me as much, because it's alternate missions that are a little bit more thematic, and a little bit more narrative. That's always an interesting thing to me, because like I feel like it's something that AMG really likes to do, and so like key operations, different, you know, I don't know, just like there was this whole mission of, you know, like different setups and, you know, blow up. They kind of previewed 3 different missions together that dealt with, you know, getting to a place, blowing up a shield generator. It has its own you know, you have to do all the, you have to have these specific symbols, so it's some different gameplay, blowing up a reactor, and then doing, like, the next mission in this series, the whole second game, is to try to rescue a prisoner, like a prison break. And then the third and final in this series is to take that prisoner and get on board a shuttle, and escape in a shuttle. And so it's like, it's weird because it's like Shatterpoint now almost becoming like a miniature campaign, like a 3-story arc. It's something that they're kind of toying around with. Didn't really appeal to me, but it may appeal to some folks out there. So pretty interesting stuff. I'm more excited about the Rogue One stuff. I think the Rogue One, and of course Riff Tamson, that stuff is very cool. I think more Jedi is also very cool. It is interesting to see that Shatterpoint is getting so many different Jedi, where, you know, Legion kind of wants a lot of them. Like, we still don't have Mace Windu for Legion, so, you know, and we're finally just got Ahsoka announced for the Republic for Legion. And I'm going to do a breakdown on Legion stuff as well. That'll be coming next week, so definitely check that out. But I wanted to do a roundup of a lot of the Shatterpoint news. So hopefully, if you're into Shatterpoint, you found this helpful, and we'll keep our eyes peeled for more news. I don't think we're gonna get too many more info dumps on Shatterpoint until Adepticon next year. So we'll just kind of have to let these releases hold us over until then. All right, that is going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to my patrons. You guys are out of this world and help make this channel possible. I will talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. And always wash your socks.